I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is Mystical Block. Now, last episode, I left you guys off on kind of a cliffhanger with Draconic Evolution, and that involved me mentioning a power sphere that is going to go right here in the center. Well, I didn't get the time to actually make that. So today we're going to be doing that, but we're also going to be diving into more of the fun things that Draconic has to offer, including the armor. And that is going to be really, really fun. And not just any armor, we're going to be making the potato armor. That's right. The most powerful armor in the pack is the potato armor. Oh, it's fantastic. We can't even put it on. No, but in all seriousness, the Draconic Additions is in here, which adds a whole bunch of other functionality outside, of course, the funny troll items. Now, currently I'm working on getting all of my infusion crafters turned into Draconic variants. And so this is just the same process that we did last episode of getting these all moved around. Of course, taking this, putting it inside my infusion, and then crafting and doing all of that. Future Chosen here, as you can see by what I'm wearing. I wanted to mention this because I just found this out as I was recording the episode that's going to be tomorrow. And, well, I didn't know this until today, but I wanted to share this with you. As you can see by the crafters. Inside of here, I didn't know you could do this until today. Whenever you show this in JEI, while you're inside of this and you want to do a craft real quick, if you have the items in your inventory, you can just click Move Items, and it'll auto place them into the injectors for you. I didn't know that until just now, but I'm sharing it with you. I will forever use this. Oh my gosh, this is a game changer. Now, the fun part, we technically don't need these crafters for. This is just for making the armor and stuff and the upgrades that we're going to need later on. Really, we can make this sphere that we're going to be setting up, which just requires an energy pylon, an energy core, which needs to go in the center. And then, of course, it's going to need energy stabilizers, which also need particle generators in them to make. But to be able to make this stuff, you just need the basic tier. I don't even think you need a wyvern crafter to make these, right? No, you just need draconic or draconium in order to make these. So in reality, you don't need the injectors at all. It doesn't seem like, to be able to make the giant power sphere. Now, do I need said power sphere? In reality, no, because we have creative energy, but I just like the way it looks. So honestly, I'm setting it up for the cool factor. And I mean, that's just one part of Minecraft that I absolutely love. So let's start thinking about how to actually set up this sphere. So I'm using an abacus from Quark to be able to line up, and it can tell me how many blocks. Of course, it starts at 0, so keep that in mind. So this is technically the 9th block here. And that means if I go up here, that is, again, the 9th block, meaning this is the center. Easy way to find the centers of like floating structures, for example, like this. And I've lined this out, and I know I have about 17 blocks worth of space in clearance. And then now I've given myself 17 blocks worth of space clearance here. So this should be perfect. Now that I know how much space, I know roughly how large I can build my energy core. So in reality, we should be able to build a tier 8 core because it just needs a 13 by 13 by 13 space. Of course, not counting the stabilizers themselves. And we're going to talk about the stabilizers. So to make the stabilizers, we are going to need ourselves these. So we're going to need a bunch of these. I believe 36 is what is recommended, is exactly how many we're going to end up needing for the max tier 8. Oh man, this just brings back memories. I love this. This is one of my favorite parts of Draconic Evolution, by the way, is this whole setup. So these stabilizers, what I want is I want them connected right here. And this is going to be the central. And I believe all we have to do is just make, oh, I got to take this off. We just need this to be like a 3 by 3, I believe. I'm thinking that's exactly what we're supposed to set up. It's been a long time since I built this, so bear with me. But I'm pretty sure with this being the center, I can place one here and one here. And then once I've built a full sphere, there we go. It will complete, as you can see right there. And I need to do the same thing on all 4 sides. Now you can build this vertically as well. So you could have a stabilizer down here and then a stabilizer up top and stabilizers on the side and do it that way. But you just need 4 sets of stabilizers in any fashion, whether that's on top, bottom, left, right, or you can do all of them on the sides. So I'm going to get all of these lined out, even though these are, it's a really cool animation when it finally like, boop, pops into existence. Oh, these are so cool looking. Oh, I can't wait. This is gonna be kind of ridiculous because the max tier requires 786 draconium blocks, and it's also going to require 378 awakened draconium blocks. It's a lot of blocks, Now the next thing I'm going to need is the energy core. This is where the main part, the main like everything is where it happens, is right here in the energy core. Do I have these wyverns automated? I do not, actually. So we definitely need to get those automated because those are going to be super useful here soon. So inside the crafter, of course, getting this set up and automated is going to be a necessity and would make this really easy. So I can just hold down control, get those crafted real quick, and then bam, we have ourselves an energy core. So this energy core controls everything. This is how everything's going to be set up, and it needs to go right in the center of this whole build. So right here, we have it all ready to go. And then when we interact with this, this is where we have our interface. So I'm going to tier this all the way up to the top tier, and you can see the stabilizers are valid, meaning that I built the stabilizers the proper way. And then we can activate the build guide. By default, we have to expand all the layers to show it. Don't know if the build guide is 100% working, but we don't really need the build guide. We just need to make sure we have those blocks in our inventory. And then we need to hit assemble core. So let's get the draconium blocks. Of course, I think I'm going to need to craft up several more blocks. This is going to use up a lot of our draconium. I'm going to go ahead and start, though, with the draconium blocks. And then I just need to hit assemble core. And there it goes. It's starting to assemble the core. Now, maybe you may be wondering, how do I actually interact with this once this is going? How do I access that middle block? Well, you can actually interact with it via the stabilizers now. So just standing near, it's taking it out of my inventory, as you can see right there. And it's doing the first layer. As soon as I put some awakened blocks in, it should start to work. So as you can see, unable to complete structure, missing required blocks, awakened draconium. So as soon as we put the awakened draconium in our inventory and we restart and assemble the core, it should start to assemble the awakened draconium. Oh, you gotta love this. So there it goes. I think we nearly have enough. It's still using the draconium to assemble this thing. It is quite a lot. Like I said, over 700 blocks of draconium is required for this. I hope we have enough. I'm gonna go ahead and craft a few more. Oh my goodness. I think it's enough. I think this is now fully assembled. It is fully assembled. And then with it being fully assembled, we just have to click here and hit activate. And now we have a giant draconium sphere powered in the middle of our base. And boy, does it look phenomenal. This max tier Draconic Evolution Energy Core. Oh, I love this thing. Now, to send power to this, well, this is where we need ourselves some energy pylons. And I think we just need them to be near this. I don't think they have to be like directly on it. Actually, I may put, well, let's leave them down here. Let's try this. So on the bottom, we need glass to activate these. So let's get some glass going. And on the bottom, that is going to create this sphere. And this is how we're going to send power in and out of this thing. And it's probably going to be best that we just send power into it. I don't think we're going to need to extract power out of it. But if we want to, we can do a plug. We could create an infinite loop. That would just kind of look cool. But if we click this ball, it's going to change it to extract mode. And then as you can see with it blue, it's insert mode. So you got back and forth. You can tell by the arrows what version or form you're in. So we need to send to the core. So to do that, we'll use a point. We place the point right here. This should send power into this. It says almost infinite. This is where I'm wondering, will this work? It may not work here on the side. We may actually have to put it on the actual outside in order for it to work. This is where I don't know sometimes. To get it onto the side might be best if we just use some sort of building material. And I usually place them like right here, like so. So how many blocks do we go? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not very many. We're not too far out here. Let's see if I can insert in though. Let's try another set of glass. I want to at least see if the power will go in. So power's going in. As you can see right there, now the power's going in. So we're starting to build up power. I'm going to go ahead and hit this on the limit. Even though we have creative power, I'm just really wanting to see the particles that this thing generates, which is just pretty cool. So of course, with creative power, there's nothing better to do than just to simply trash our power. So let's go ahead and trash it. We'll say, let's send out 10,000 into the trash at all times. So at all times, we're just simply trashing power to be able to get this cool particle effect happening on both sides. I don't know. Is this something cool? I don't know. I actually love that I had this with this idea in mind to have this giant draconic sphere in the center of our base. This is one of my favorite parts of Draconic Evolution. Now that I have all of that done, it is time. That's right, time to go Super Saiyan mode. And when I say that, I'm not joking. Like, we're actually going to be going Super Saiyan. If you remember good old-fashioned Dragon Ball Z, because Draconic Evolution, in my opinion, makes you look like a Dragon Ball Z character. Well, it used to. You still get the kind of shield, but in this newer version in 1.16, you don't have a full armor set anymore. Instead, you just have these chest pieces. So I'm going to need all of these basic pieces here to make at least the Wyvern one at first. And then we're going to be making ourselves the Draconic chest piece. And this is why I needed all of my machines upgraded to at least Draconic tier to allow us to make this chest piece and also many of the other tools. So with all the items in, I'll make my first piece, which is going to be the Wyvern. By the way, it does appear that when it comes to charging, that the higher tier crafters seem like they do provide the power faster, which is really nice. So with all the other items, we can now upgrade to the next tier, which is the Draconic plate. And this does cost 32 million power. As you can see, the energy cost is going to go up on a lot of things. And there we go. We have ourselves a Draconic chest piece, but this thing really is useless. I mean, it is pretty useless without anything in it. Now it does go in your body slot, which is really powerful, but as you can see, nothing's going on. Like, no visual effects, like nothing. It is pretty inert. Like, it just doesn't do anything. We're going to have to upgrade this set. And it does have a modular item in here. It's pretty cool. But we are going to need to assign a key to be able to open up the config for it. And so for me, I've assigned it to a slash button, and you can see down here, it now will tell me what button that is. So while holding it, I can open this up, and here's where all the modules go. Now by default, it tells me this item requires energy modules in order to function. So the first things that we need to make are these energy modules to get this even working. And then it does tell me here a modular size is a 1x1, but they do get higher and higher for different modules that you'll end up making. So if we're going to be going for like a high tier, you can see this right here, this AoE module costs a 3x3, which means in this grid, it's going to take up a 3x3 space that you have available here. So we can place a lot of different things in here, just depending on how much space we have available. If we have a lot of high tier things, we can only have very few high tier things in here. So something we're going to have to keep in mind when we start putting in things like the shield capacitors or capacity modules. They do take up a 2x2 space, but they're going to give us, you know, all of the major things that we're going to need, right? Now, for a lot of these upgrades, they do require this Draconic core, and we need to get these set up and kind of semi-automated. I'm not going to set them up on like demand craft, but what I can do is I can go ahead and just pull out stacks of these items that are required for this. For example, nether stars, right? We should have plenty of nether stars, 4,000 in there. And then draconium, we have plenty of this. So I think it was needing, what, a couple of stacks of Draconium to make these? 4. So we'll just do 4 individual stacks of Draconium. And then we'll just put all of this in the crafter. But the crafter does need a pulse, a tick, in order for it to work. And then we can also use a hopper. So we also need cores. So we should probably craft at least 4 stacks of those. And we'll get this all up and running, right? Now, on the actual crafter itself, this is where I'm probably going to put a hopper. And that way we have some sort of valid inventory underneath that's automatically pulling out. So we have a hopper here. On the side, or on the top, actually the top is probably going to be the best place for this. We want a clock. And so Cyclic has a really good timer, a really good clock, a redstone clock here. And so what we could do is just have this going up here that is pulsing every few ticks or so. This is where you can define the delay, right? So the duration in ticks and then the delay between ticks. So that we increase this, we can start to see as we increase this, I'm using my scroll wheel, by the way, we can get this to flick on and off just like that. And so this should initiate the craft. And then when the crafting operation's done, it'll go out, and then this will activate the next craft. So let's test this out and see if we can get at least a stack of these going. So put that in there. Is it going to allow the pulse? Is this pulse going to work? Can I increase the pulse? Do I have to initiate the first craft? I'm so confused. That should be sending a signal, a redstone signal, to it to do the next craft. So the hopper worked. But for some reason, that's not initiating the craft. Let me just make sure. Let's try this. Let's just try a button. Does a button initiate the craft? Because I'm pretty sure it should. Let's try this. Well, that placed up there. That's not what I wanted. Will it not? Can I not place it on this? No, I guess not. But that did work. That still sent a redstone signal to this. Huh. I wonder why this is not effectively sending the redstone signal. If we increase the delay, maybe? And then increase the pulse? It does not work either. So I have now resorted to an RF Tools timer, and this is apparently working. And just on its default settings, it's working. So I just placed it on the side of a block, and it facing this way, and it's set on its basic setting, and it's actually working. It's just not the prettiest thing in the world. Not the prettiest thing in the world to set up, and I actually can't place it on the side here and block it, so it does have to go here. I wish I could facade this. I could trapdoor it, potentially, but yeah, I could probably trapdoor it. Ooh, and as far as trapdoors go, we now have framed blocks in this pack that were recently added in an update. And these are fantastic. I love these because we can make this look like any block. Just like so. It's so cool. I love this. So cyan terracotta for the win. You can still kind of see it underneath there, but it's a little bit more covered now. Now, at the moment, I am going through all of these like things that I can actually craft that are all these modules, and I'm setting up auto crafts for them to make it a little bit easier to get into. Now, some of these things, for example, I don't have crafted up for like the first time. For example, like a shield, right? But if I go ahead and I look at this and I go, okay, I can go ahead and craft this. I can just toss it in, and now we'll have it forever. So that's the really awesome part about having this transmutation interface and set up the way that I do, is that I can teach it new recipes on the fly, which is great. So as you can see right here, I'm slowly but surely getting through this list. We're going to need all of these items. For the most part, it does seem like the majority of the modules themselves, they don't require the crafting inside of the infusion crafters outside of the Draconic cores themselves. And so I've already got 64 of those prepped up and ready to go. So we should be able to do most of this. Now, some of these also require potions to get started, but once I've made like the first set of potions, they have EMC. So I will need to make some potions, for example, the swiftness potion And I believe there's another one. This one is Potion of Strength for the damage module, which of course we're going to want for our tools. And I also want to go ahead and get, speaking of tools, get my tools crafted up. We're going to want, for sure, a Draconic sword, but I think still one of the most powerful weapons from Draconic Evolution is the Draconic bow. This thing is so amazing and is what I have used in the past to take down the dragon, the Chaos Dragon, which is a whole other fight in itself. And I almost feel like that dragon fight will be easier than the dragon fight in the overworld, the normal dragon fight. And that's saying something. Now, thankfully, to make this as easy as possible when crafting all of your basic tools and stuff from Draconic, keep in mind that it all uses the same items. So for every tool, you can just make sure to keep all of the same items in and then just place the required items to get the next tier. And I believe the same is true for the Draconic upgraded versions as well. So in just like this, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these crafted up. As you can see, we already have the Wyvern shovel and all of the tools are gonna be made up. I think I'm gonna be making the Staff of Power. We should have the ability to make all of the Draconium versions of these tools. And it shouldn't take no time at all, as you can see. All right, here we go. And this should start the upgrade, I believe, as soon as I place the cores in. There it goes. So I should be able to get all of these upgraded to, of course, Draconic. Now, all of these are going to require those energy modules in order to be able to be used in the first place. But I'm going to be combining a couple of these into the Power Staff from Draconic. Oh, that's what I'm excited for. This thing is incredibly powerful, specifically as a weapon, as a sword. But like I said, the Draconic bow is just where it's at. So this is going to be my first use of the Draconic core that I just ended up crafting. This is going to take our pickaxe, our shovel, and our sword, and it's all going to combine it into one tool here. So we get that all put together, and then this is going to require our first use of a Draconic core. And a lot of power later, and we should have ourselves a Draconic Staff of Power, which is a pretty cool tool. Pretty cool tool. Of course, we still have an axe and a hoe, which I don't think I'm ever going to use, as these two are really the primary things. Of course, that and our chest piece. Now, of course, all of these, to be able to even think about working, well, they're going to need these modules, and we should be able to put the Draconic tier modules inside of all of them to get them to start working. You can see right here, this one's now filling up with power. I should be able to open the interface on this one. That now is receiving power, and this one can start receiving power. And of course, they need power to be able to function in its base operations. And there we go. But this is still not ready yet, at least for the body. I want some shields and all kinds of other goodies that make the chest piece worth having. Now, unfortunately, to be able to craft one of the best modules, which is the shield control module, which allows my shield to work, it needs a thing. It's going to need, at least to make the, because you can only install one of these, to make the Wyvern version of this, you need a dragon heart. And that means, well, I have to kill the dragon again. Let's see. Can I maybe put enough things in my Staff of Power to make killing the dragon a couple of shots? That could be doable. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go. I have here 36 Draconic modules, and I'm wondering if this is going to allow me to wreck the dragon. This is just going to increase the overall amount of damage that I can do, and this should fill a bunch of these slots. We still have room for more, actually. 1, 2, 3, there's a 3, 6, 9, and 11. So I can craft up 11 more and fill the entire thing. I don't know if it might be a good idea to also have speed upgrades in here, though. So I'm going to go ahead actually and fill this with some speed upgrades. That should improve the swing speed, because as of right now, it's also not swinging very fast. Okay, and we can only put a maximum of 8. That improves it a little bit. It looks so goofy swinging this. But the fact that this is going to be doing over 300 damage is just mind-boggling. So let's fill the rest of this. And this doesn't even have enchants. I don't remember if this can actually accept enchants or not. Probably can, though. It doesn't show that it can, so maybe not. But this is going to be doing 327 damage. Let's see how quickly this can actually kill the dragon. So let's give it a shot. Let's try this. I'm just going to actually try and poke it while it's in air and see if it works. If it'll let me, which it may not. The bow might have been a better option for this. Like, catching up with this guy is the hard part. Come on. And okay, it does a pretty good amount of damage actually. But it still has some damage, yeah. It's not going to be something we're insta-killing, that's for sure. And it still has resistances sometimes while it's in air as well. Yeah, this is going to take a moment. So, perfect. Here it goes. It is landing. And we one-shot it. Okay, well, maybe it just needed to land first. Because it just booped out of existence. Did we already pick up the heart? Perfect. So now we can make the insane upgrade that is going to be on our chest piece and get all of those modules made and finally get our shield, which is going to make us look Super Saiyan. So I hope. So perfect. This is probably one of the most important parts of the actual Draconic chest piece, and that is the shield controller. As you can see, this takes up significant space, but this is going to allow us to actually use all of these shield capacity modules and the shield recovery modules, and even, yeah, the undying module. So I'm going to be putting these large shield modules, which is like all these shields all combined together. I'm going to try 6 of them for right now, as they do take up quite a bit of space, as you can see right here. And then with the shield modules in there, I want to also eventually get these undying. We may have to do that next episode, but we need to get the undying, which is going to require, I believe, a totem of undying. And so we're going to need to get ourselves a totem of undying in some form or fashion. We only need a couple of them, I think, because you can only have a max installed of 2 anyways. These are probably the most important upgrade, by the way, the undying modules. It'll use power instead of you just dying, which is really helpful against the Chaos Dragon. So the shield recoveries, these are the ones that I'm going to go ahead and make now that I have this. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's try like 11 of them and see how that goes. It shouldn't be too bad. And so these are going to allow our shields to recharge faster, which is going to be incredibly helpful. And we can see all of our stats going up here, the more cool things we put inside this. Now, also keep in mind that this does cost a lot of power to run this armor. Like, this armor is not free. This is going to cost 11,000 RF per tick to maintain this power, which is kind of a lot. But as you can see, it's now charging up, and now we're getting ourselves an armor. But I am noticing that the shield looks a little transparent, and I almost wonder if that is a issue with these performance mods that are in this pack. Yeah, I bet, because it should be orange and all glowy. Let's see if I can fix that. Well, I did try, and well, it did end up changing my chest piece, but my helmet and my pants, well, they're broken as well. I don't really know what's doing this, because I know in my pack, whenever I played, this was not an issue, and it actually had an effect and everything, and that was the Project Architect pack, which was in the same version here in 1.16. So it's kind of interesting that this isn't showing. But I may not actually get the effect that I'm looking for until I have the life upgrade on here. I don't know, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But this armor should still work. We can see in the bottom left, I now have a armor percentage bar. And if I was just to take damage from a mob, I shouldn't take any damage from it, per se. Let's see, can I go find a mob? Well, of course, you're not the mob I want. But let's for example, let's give this a run for its money. As you can see, it taps me and starts to take away from my shield and of course my recharge bar. Well, if I don't take any damage, then it will start to recharge my shield. You can see I'm probably going to need more of the shield upgrades on there, but still the undying is probably the best thing that's going to protect us. That and, well, the upgrades are going to go onto our bow. Now, I just want to mention this because I'm working on making the bow. Now, it does need arrows, And you can't just enchant this normally, but yes, these can have enchants applied onto them, even though it doesn't necessarily show that. So we should be able to farm for an infinity bow by using these tomes. So these tomes right here inside of a regular enchanting table will allow me to hopefully get infinity in some regards, hopefully. And then we can also put power and stuff on there as well. Unbreaking I don't think will be necessary, but these are specific bow enchants that we should hopefully be able to get. This is unbreaking and so on and so forth. So I don't know if I believe infinity can be applied onto something like this. We have infinite levels. This is a multi-bow. Ooh, that would be kind of nice. Fires extra arrows from your bow. Yes, I think this is exactly what's going to make this bow really, really powerful. I just rolled a really crazy book right here. Multi-bow. I don't really know what that's going to do. We can always unenchant this, but it's going to put multi-bow and infinity on here. Of course, unbreaking doesn't really matter. What does this look like? It says it shoots. Oh, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Look at all these extra arrows it shoots. Yep, that's what we needed. So all of these are going to carry bonus damage. And of course, inside of this, we should be able to add damage upgrades. I don't even have them in here yet. So back to Draconic, similar to all of our damage upgrade modules for our sword, we also have damage upgrade modules here as well. I just wanted to kind of see with our base upgrades in here. This is an auto shooting one. I just wanted to see how many slots. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So we're going to have enough for 11 of these. And this is, I mean, of course, we may be able to give or take. It all depends. But 11 of those should be made pretty fast, as we do have all the stuff for it. So there it goes. There's all 11. They disappeared on me. There. So if we put these in here, the damage should go sky high, right? So now this does 148 damage, I believe, per shot. And it looks like each shot is going to require 151,000 RF. Oh boy. This is going to be exactly what we need to take out a dragon. Oh man, this is going to be fun. But that, my friends, is going to have to wait till next episode. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, be sure to click that subscribe button and also give this video a huge thumbs up. I really, really appreciate you. And of course, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's video. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Aristic Panda. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. Of course, guys, I thank you so very much for watching. Next episode, we're going to be getting into the Chaos fight. Yes, we're going to be fighting the Chaos Dragon probably multiple times. And of course, we are going to make sure we're in the most OP armor that we can possibly get to, which means we're also going to have to figure out a way to get those totems of undying. That's going to be a process. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.